Now it's Norm Duke. Mighty Duke going up against Danny-Wiseman here in match 2 of the AC Delco Challenge.
And this is a match worth paying for. I mean, these two guys are both great players. And by the way, the foul lights are not on. I have a little problem with the foul lights, so there will be a foul light judge watching the bowlers as they throw the ball.
Wiseman will start match 2. And outside still. Oh, and he found outside to his liking. All day long.
Send a little early message to Norm Duke, but you're not going to intimidate Duke.
What a pressure bowler. 16 national titles. 35 years old, out of Claremont, Florida.
You know, when you talk about Norm Duke, you know, if you ask him who he thinks the best player out here is, he'll say it's him. And you know what? I agree with him. Ring and 10 for Duke. Made a great shot. Did not carry. 6-pin going around the bottom of that 10-pin.
Well, you got to be confident.
So much versatility in this man's game. Watch the 6-pin. Second from the right. Around the bottom of the 10-pin.
Now that's a ring and 10-pin. Duke trying to pick up the 10-pin. First frame. Appears to be sticking just a bit at the foul line.
They're having just a little bit of trouble with his footwork, but
well, that can be so uneasy, can it?
Well, it certainly it bothered me to no end because I had a long slide, but it is a little unnerving. And you know, with the new installation of the arena lanes, you know, sometimes the approach is a little slippery, sometimes a little sticky. So we'll just have to watch and see how he goes as he progresses.
Well, top 24 finishes.
Bang, bang. Solid 10, solid 10.
And it's hard to move from that spot.
Well, yeah, Duke's got to be wondering whether he's throwing the right piece of equipment. Maybe he needs to make a ball change. It's just not entering the pocket with a proper trajectory. He played that outside line virtually all week at Pinboys at the beach.
Norm started on 9th after the opening round, made his way up the ladders. He picks up the 10-pin, flattening the ball out a little bit.
He certainly stuck on that spare conversion. But I know he's thinking, is that going to be the right ball? And, you know, they bowl practice for about an hour on this pair, try and figure out the lanes. Right now, advantage to Wiseman, who has the line, and when he hits the pocket, for the most part, he strikes, although he did have those couple of splits.
Started off this match with a strike.
That's inside his target. Wow, that ball held.
They lofted a little bit out there. They able to delay the hook a bit, but perhaps just a bit inside, but a big double for Wiseman after throwing a 231 game in the opening game.
231 that could have been 270.
Now in his finger holes,
he puts like a material, like a gauze around his fingers because it helps protect them from splitting. That got out. That's where he wants the ball. Right there. Right there.
He is cooking. Outside, he has found it sunny and warm, hot.
Riding the one board, driving in hard. Duke's ball's coming in about a half board lighter than that. The great reaction from Wiseman. You're not going to leave any 10 pins from that shot, Duke. Norm throws that ball a little bit deeper into the pocket.
Oh, got the fans hooting and hollering.
But he's got to be able to rely on having a little wider pocket. You know, sometimes you feel like you've got to put the ball so deep in the pocket. After Norm threw the first 2 shots with a ringing 10, that shot just a little bit further left, a little deeper, a little more perfection. Danny-Wiseman not really paying much attention as Duke throws the next shot, the 4th frame.
Beautiful. So Norm Duke has come storming back. A big double. Danny-Wiseman has started this second match with a 3-bagger. So it's Danny-Wiseman up by 11 over Norm Duke here in the AC Delco Challenge. Duke going at it. Duke with a big double, but Wiseman has started off this second game 3 in a row. Well, is bowling not a challenge to you anymore? How can you bowl on a lane condition like the pros? Become part of a PBA Tour Challenge League. Leagues are forming across the country. Call your local proprietor and ask if a PBA Challenge League is forming in your center. For more information, call 1-800-521-2695. Oh, nothing like bowling on the conditions that the pros bowl on.
It certainly would make league bowling a little more interesting.
Oh, yeah.
And I think fun to do once a week.
No doubt. Wiseman.
Boy, that ball looked like it was going to go in a little bit high, but it held on. He's found some room out there.
It's nice to have that area.
Like, I don't care who you are. You've got to, in order to score consistently high, you've got to have a little bit of room. And that comes from using the right piece of equipment with the right release and the right speed. Wiseman right now seemingly dialed in. Got the front four.
Wiseman making his 5th TV appearance this year. I finished 3rd in the Showboat in Las Vegas. Trying to get that 10-pin not to be.
Yeah. Now there's Danny's grandmother, stepmom, and that's his mom and his stepfather. So Danny has certainly got his people rooting for him, but boy, misses the 10-pin. Danny-Wiseman is bowling against Norm Duke. You cannot afford to give this man anything.
So Wiseman takes a seat. Duke working on a double. Up in the 5th frame. What a game he has.
Boy, but Duke has thrown 5 shots right up to his eyelids. They've been all high flush. 2 ringing 10 pins, 3 stone flush shots. Look at the way he's sticking at the line. But still, a clean release, and boy, you couldn't go down there and walk the ball any better position than that.
Duke, the 94 Player of the Year, after winning 5 titles that year. The youngest player to win a PBA title at the age of 18. He did it in Cleveland.
And Duke now has a 2-pin lead. Can he make it 12? That's got to stop. Just the 4-pin. The lead is 1.
Could have been worse.
He's still having problems sliding. And I think that sliding problem might have been the reason that Wiseman missed that 10-pin. Just a little trouble getting a good, clean slide.
Picks up the spare for those amateurs out there. What can you do when you're having problems with the foul line sticking?
Well, if you're sticking a little bit, you just have to play for it. You know, either that or with the new shoes, you can change your sliding shoe, and you can make it slide a little more. Put a little Teflon on it, or whatever it takes to make you slide a little more. If not, you just have to play for the stick. We'll see Wiseman after the open frame. That ball's left off his hand too. Didn't like the release. Fortunate just to leave the 4-pin.
We got a close one going here in match 2. The winner to face lefty Jason Couch, former Rookie of the Year. Mark Masabi on top as you take a look. Good look at Duke.
Oh my gosh, he missed the 4-pin also. Very, very surprising.
Perfect.
Well, this year the pros have converted about 95-96% of those single pin spares. 295 out of 308. He has missed 2 single pin spares in a row.
And this is one of the best spare shooters out here. If there's a better spare shooter, it's the man he's playing against. That's Norm Duke. Ball left off his hand.